ex did not realize we were divorced. The dissolution of a marriage is rarely a simple affair. It's a legal process, often fraught with emotional complexities and intricate paperwork. In my case, however, the divorce process took a decidedly bizarre turn when my ex-husband seemed to operate under the delusion that we were still married, despite all evidence to the contrary. He had been served with divorce papers. He had received subsequent notices. The legal machinery had churned, meticulously documenting each step of the process. Yet he chose to ignore it all, burying his head in the sand as if willful blindness could somehow alter reality. His lack of cooperation necessitated a no-fault divorce, a path that unfortunately required me to shoulder additional financial burdens. I paid extra to expedite the process, navigating the legal complexities largely on my own, due to his obstinate refusal to participate. Months passed. Life moved on. I had closed that chapter of my life, moving forward as a single woman. Then, out of the blue, I received a text message from my former mother-in-law. This communication, seemingly innocuous at first glance, revealed the astonishing extent of my ex-husband's detachment from reality. She was requesting my social security number so that he could file his taxes as married filing separately, a strategy she attributed to their lawyer. The absurdity of the request struck me immediately. We were divorced, legally, unequivocally divorced. I calmly informed her that he would need to file as single. Her response was equally baffling. "But he didn't sign anything," she exclaimed, as if a signature alone held the power to validate or invalidate a legal decree. She then proceeded to inquire about the date of finalization, a detail that had been established months prior. The divorce had been finalized in December. The mention of their lawyer felt like a thinly veiled attempt at intimidation, a tactic designed to pressure me into compliance. It was a clumsy maneuver, especially considering the fact that the divorce was already finalized. Any legal advice they were receiving was clearly arriving too late to alter the established legal reality. This situation wasn't born from a sudden change in my ex's personality. The controlling behavior and subtle physical abuse had been the reasons I left. It wasn't a single dramatic event, but a pattern of incidents that escalated over time. He would accidentally hit me with a remote he threw, grip my chin too tightly, or put me in headlocks when he was drunk. I had always maintained that I would leave any relationship that became physically abusive, and I stayed true to my word. He had initially presented himself as sweet and caring, a facade that gradually crumbled, revealing a much darker side. To preempt any potential complications, I visited the IRS website to familiarize myself with the proper filing procedures. I filed my taxes as quickly as possible, a proactive measure to safeguard against any attempt by my ex-husband to file as married. His name was on none of our shared accounts or assets, a deliberate choice on his part. He had consistently shirked financial responsibility, unwilling to be held accountable for any expenses. Since he was only working part-time, I had shouldered the vast majority of our financial burdens throughout the marriage. As an additional precaution, I had frozen my credit, preventing him from opening any accounts or incurring any debt in my name. This measure provided a much-needed sense of security, ensuring that his financial irresponsibility wouldn't have any further repercussions on my life. The entire situation was a surreal mix of frustration and disbelief. It was as if my ex-husband had existed in a parallel universe, completely oblivious to the legal proceedings that had irrevocably altered our relationship status. His mother's involvement only amplified the absurdity, revealing a shared delusion that bordered on the comical. The situation highlighted the importance of clear communication and meticulous record-keeping during legal proceedings. Even when one party chooses to ignore the process, the legal system continues to operate, establishing a definitive and binding outcome. My ex-husband's attempt to circumvent reality through sheer ignorance was ultimately futile. The divorce was final, regardless of his awareness or acceptance. This experience served as a powerful reminder of the importance of self-preservation and proactive measures in navigating complex legal situations. By taking the necessary steps to protect myself financially and legally, I was able to shield myself from the potential fallout of my ex-husband's denial. The situation, while frustrating and bizarre, ultimately reinforced the importance of taking control of one's own narrative and ensuring that legal processes are followed correctly, regardless of the other party's cooperation. It was a taxing situation, both literally and figuratively, but in the end, the truth prevailed, and the legal reality of our divorce remained unshaken.